What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF, man. Back with another post-game video. My goodness, what an intense game with such a heartbreaking ending. Unfortunately,
When kids
the
get really
Lakers
excited about my children's books, that's the best reaction. What's great about Paint 3D, it's exciting to see a shark come to life and come off the page. When the work creates a feeling in a kid, it feels great. It's addictive. You want to keep doing it.
We made a lot of mistakes down the stretch. Again, we came up with dry spells.
I like the shot. Ball drive, shot block, picked up by Randall.
Can you guys hear me now? No. Give me 1 second. Mic check. Mic check. They can't hear me. Audio in the background. Okay. All right. Like I said, guys, unfortunately, we made too many mistakes. Brandon Ingram, somebody put out an APB out for him because he completely disappeared. Mentally, he just wasn't there. He was committing mad turnovers. Honestly, I don't understand why Jordan Clarkson got benched, somebody who was playing good in the first half and had a couple of headaches. But, I'm sorry, he had a couple of bonehead plays in the second half, but he's still a better scorer and much more of a threat than KCP. I thought he should have finished out the game, especially in overtime. And also, I didn't like the fact that we didn't rebound. We didn't crash the glass. We got dominated. All that stuff combined, I mean, there was no chance we were going to win this game in Madison Square Garden. They had the refs and everything, right? Because we're on the road, so it is what it is. At the end of the day, their superstar closed out, and our star player didn't show up. Other than Kuzma, I thought Randall had a decent game. I thought Jordan Clarkson had a decent game in the first half. But in the second half, man, I thought the rotations were off. Why did you leave Randall to get destroyed once again by their guy Kristaps Porzingis when we have so much size on the bench? And I get it. Brook Lopez has been atrocious. But there's Bogut. You know, I've been clamoring for Thomas Bryant. Something has to be done because we keep losing these games to longer, more athletic teams. Well, not more athletic, but just longer players are dominating us. The Joel Embiids and the Kristaps Porzingis. And also, you know, every game it seems like some new player just steps up to the plate and just destroys us. Tonight it was Frank Ntilikina. He was a big difference in this game, and so was Mike Beasley on those boards, man. It's just unfortunate that we can't close out these games. They're winnable, and this is the difference between the average and mediocre teams and, you know, good teams. We have the potential to become a good team, but we don't do the things we're supposed to do consistently. Also, we missed the few free throws we got. We missed them, and then on top of that, on top of the free throws and everything, you know, just the turnovers, the boneheaded plays that led to buckets going down the other end. If that doesn't happen, then we would have had this game tonight. So that's why it hurts. It was still a good game. I'm still proud of the Lakers for fighting. I mean, they fought back into this one. I thought we were going to lose in the fourth quarter. We had, you know, a horrible fourth quarter. Our bench didn't actually show up in the second half. They played amazing in the first half. And the second half, you know, the revs combined with the hustle plays from guys like Kyle O'Quinn and Michael Beasley just totally took us off rhythm. And, you know, we never really recovered from that, unfortunately. But, I mean, it is what it is. You know, we got killed by another superstar. And, yes, I did say it's superstar. Kristaps Porzingis is a superstar. And, you know, a bunch of role players stepped up. Like always. It always seems, like I said, some no-name player or some up-and-comer always has a career high on us or something. It's crazy, man. I thought Lonzo Ball did a good job for the most part, but he did look winded there to end the game. And again, I keep harping on his conditioning. You know, his conditioning is a big issue. I thought maybe Clarkson should have closed out the game if he was tired. I mean, Luke is doing a horrible job of managing rotations. I thought Nance deserved to, you know, play some five with Kuzma to slide down at the 4, and if you wanted to, you know, play Brandon Ingram at the guard since he was guarding Ntilikina, that would have worked out as well. But it's just it's something crazy, man. It's just, I don't know. The coaching is it's been on and off. Like, I thought the last couple of games Luke did an okay job of coaching, and then this game again, you know, we get exposed by size and on the boards, and, you know, Randall is just not a 5. I don't know why they keep playing him at the 5. Off the bench is cool when he's going against bench players, but when he's going against centers, for the most part, he's going to get exposed, you know, and tonight was a perfect example of that. We had trouble, Even I thought Kuzma did a decent job of switching out to KP at times and stuff like that. But we can't keep playing small. We are not the Golden State Warriors. At the end of the day, we got to continue to use our size, whether it works or not. At least it makes it a little bit harder for them. I thought Bogut should have got some minutes tonight, especially we were, struggling on the glass. I mean, what is the coaching staff doing? If we need rebounders, you got to put out a body out there, put some bodies out. Nance is a good rebounder as well. Why didn't he finish, the overtime? And Clarkson, I thought would have made a difference scoring-wise there in the fourth quarter and in overtime. But it's just tough, guys. It is what it is. We lost tonight. We should have had this win. Just chop it up as another, win we let slip out of our hands, because that's what it should have been. But overall, I thought Lonzo Ball was great. I thought Kuzma was terrific. Clarkson started the game really well, so I thought Luke should have gave him the chance to finish out and redeem himself for those boneheaded plays he had there in the third and in the fourth quarter, but early in the fourth quarter. But it is what it is. KCP didn't show up for us tonight. He did for the first half again, and part of the third quarter he played all right. But in the fourth quarter, I feel like he jacks up too many shots. And when he's on, it's fine. But when he's off, it just takes us off completely off rhythm. Again, it's hard to win a game when your star player doesn't show up and their star player is torching you. Brandon Ingram did not show up at all. Like they got in his head. That length by Kristaps Porzingis really bothered him, and same thing with Lance Thomas. They really bothered him, so you got to give them credit as well. But I think this is where Brandon has to take his game to the next level, and if the drive isn't there, he has to take those little baby jumpers, stay aggressive, and look to not force the issue, right? The defense obviously knew he was driving to play make because his offensive game was off, so he needed to mix it up at the right times, and he kept telegraphing his passes, and they kept getting intercepted, and he kept turning the ball over. We just messed up too much, man. Too many turnovers and just everything. We were still right there. That's the crazy part. Even though, we messed up and we were missing free throws when we had a chance, and we were turning the ball over, and, Brandon Ingram didn't show up. All that into effect, and we still had a chance to win this game. So you got to be encouraged by that. That is the positives out of this game. It's just tough, man. Like I said, it's okay. Ingram's was bound to have a bad game. Nobody's perfect. Every single player, even superstars, have bad games. But I mean, even when they're having bad games, they have to look for ways to impact the game in other forms. And it's the coaching staff's job to pull them out if they're not impacting the game in any way, shape, or form. I thought Randall's defense there in overtime was atrocious. I mean, he let Beasley walk right past him a couple of times, and it's crazy, man. But maybe he was tired. I don't know. Again, Luke has to do a better job of managing rotations. It is what it is, man. Chop it up as a loss and move on. Hopefully we have a better game versus the Cavaliers. That's going to be even harder. But, give the Knicks credit. They closed out, without Tim Hardaway Jr., who, by the way, is one of their top scorers, averaging 17 points per game. So, again, we drop another game where we should have, beat an underhanded team. But we match up well with this team, and hopefully next time we'll get them. It is what it is, man. I'll take a couple of questions. Not very happy. Again, it was an encouraging game due to the fact that we still stuck in there, even though certain things weren't going for us. And again, Brandon Ingram was off. But it's also discouraging to know that we lost a very winnable game. So it's encouraging and discouraging. It is what it is. Well, this ends our winning streak as well. So now hopefully we can get back on track versus the Cavs. Long shot, but anything's possible. We've beat some good teams this season. So, all right. I'll take a couple of your guys' questions and comments, and let's hear it, man. Let's talk about it. Nothing was encouraging about this game. You got to be encouraged by Kyle Kuzma's poise. I mean, he hit a big-time shot there to force it into overtime. And I thought Clarkson had a great first half as well. I mean, there was definitely encouraging things, but there was also some discouraging things. And, yes, the refs, as always, but it is what it is. We're on the road, so this is kind of expected. What's up, Hitman? How you doing, bro? Why is Thomas Bryant still on the bench? We need a big... Hey, you know what? I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of puzzled by the fact that we're not using our big bodies and we just keep going small and letting teams abuse us. So, KCP, too many threes, 4 for 14. Yeah, it's the greenest light out there, and it's not like he's hitting them. I mean, at some point, they have to pull back on the reins on this guy, man. Dan, do you think he trade for Okafor, Lopez, and Nance? It's a good trade. Okafor already got traded to the Nets, bro. He's not getting traded again. Kuzma was defending amazing. Yeah, he had a couple of stretches there where he really bothered KP, and I thought Julius did a good job on him as well. Except he looked tired in overtime. No movement. Yes, that's another good point. We also went to back to isolation basketball, which wasn't working there in overtime and late in the fourth. So it is what it is, man. Blaming everybody. Ingram was 2 for 12, 5 turnovers against Charlotte, 5 against Houston, against the Warriors, 7. Yeah, I already talked about Brandon Ingram. I already said that there's no chance we can win with him playing this way, and I thought Luke should have pulled him out if he was that ineffective, especially during the fourth quarter when he started turning the ball over. I don't get why this favoritism from this coaching staff. I mean, some players get the leash quickly. Like Jordan Clarkson made a turnover, boom, they yanked him out, even though he was having a decent game in the first half. And, Brandon Ingram was non-effective throughout all of the game, really. And he stayed on the floor. So this favoritism stuff got to stop by Luke. And he just needs to make the right in-game moves. And that's what's getting us to lose these games, man. Dan, KCP has no self-awareness. Yeah, but luckily for KCP, man, he's an expiring contract and a huge one at that. So it was still a good signing. He's helped us win some games, but he's very streaky. You just never know what you're going to get from KCP. I don't see him in a long-term future anyway, so I'm not worried about KCP. Dan, did you see the play where... Sorry, I missed your comment. Dan, did you see the play where Lonzo got pulled by McDermott right in front of the refs and they didn't call a foul? Yeah, but you know what? It's expected. We're on the road. The refs have been atrocious for the most part of the season. People don't like it when I talk about it, but I'm just being honest. The refs have not been that great to us, period, all season long. And this is nothing new. This is to be expected on the road. Now, we could have still won this game, but we didn't do the little things right. We didn't box out properly. We didn't limit our turnovers. I think we had near 20 again tonight. And we just reverted back to old habits. And it's hard to win games. Like, again, if your star's not showing up and their star's torching us, they're going to win, probably 90% of the time. So, Dan, what position will Ingram play if Magic goes after Paul George? Ingram should stay at small forward, and I'll put Paul George as shooting guard because he's a better shooter and he can shoot off screens and he can play off ball as well. So I would put Paul George as shooting guard. Dan, I'm depressed. I hate Lopez, KCP, man. They used to play good with the Pistons. Comes in here bad, trying to act like he's Steph Curry. Same with Lopez. Why does this keep happening? It has to stop. Well, I've been touching on the subject for a couple of videos now, man. There's some players that are only good in the Eastern Conference for some reason. I don't know what it is. They still have to play some of the Western teams, but they play a lot better when they're in their East for some reason. And Lopez falls under that category, and KCP has been streaky, so I guess he's kind of falling under that category. But KCP, he's a wild card. You just never know what you're going to get. Some games he's going to hit some big shots, and other games he's not. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Dan, what critical point of the game? Let me go up. That looked like a good question. Okay. Dan, at what critical point of the game did Luke make a mistake with the rotations? I think at the point where Kristaps Porzingis came in and you left Julius Randle at the center, and it was between him and Kuzma guarding him. I think we should have thrown some size at him. I mean, why do you have all that size if you're not going to use it? You got to make him struggle a little bit. And I get it. Lopez has been atrocious, but you also have, Andrew Bogut there, and you have Larry Nance there. Larry Nance plays better defense than Julius at times. So you got to try different things. And I feel like at times Luke he just feels like, oh, okay, we're going to rock with this team no matter what happens. So it is what it is, man. He's not a great on-the-fly coach. Other people have mentioned it before. Luke Walton sticks to his minutes rotations, and he punishes certain players, for mistakes they make, and other players, they get a long leash. So I just don't understand his methods, and that's my problem with his rotations. Dan, why is Lopez never in the center, always outside waiting for threes? Because he's weak-minded, man. Lopez was bad again tonight. He had a couple of threes, but he was bad in the sense that sometimes he can't even catch the ball properly. He turns the ball over. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure about Lopez. I think if we can trade him and get something decent and return something, sizable for him, then I'd do it. Do people still believe Ingram is our best player over Kuzma? Love Ingram, but he is not offensively advanced in the perimeter game. is limited. He needs to work on his shooting and low post. I definitely think he still needs to work. He's still very raw, but he is one of our best players. I'm not mentioning any player as our best player. It's still early, and no player has done it consistently enough, other than Kuzma, right? Kuzma has probably been the most consistent, but it's too early to tell who has the highest potential. Right now, Ingram was amazing for the last, the last 10 games he's been great. But tonight he took a night off, unfortunately, and it cost us a game. If Ingram was on his game, we would have won because we wouldn't have needed overtime. But unfortunately, he wasn't on his game. He went 2 for 12, and it hurt the team instead of helping him. Now, that rarely is going to happen. He's a high, efficient shooter, right? He's a low-volume scorer. He doesn't take a lot of shots to score. But tonight, he just kind of hurt us just by being there. He was going about the motions, and you could tell his mind wasn't in it, right? His aggression was taken away by the length and size that the Knicks had inside in the interior. So, unfortunately, tonight he regressed a little bit, but hopefully he bounces back versus the Cavs. And you can tell they studied up on Ingram. I mean, the scouting report must have been out because they were meeting him at the rim every single time he was driving. So, it is what it is, man. Bad night, chop it up and move on. I still love Ingram. Still a great player. Let's not have knee-jerk reactions and start talking bad about him. Dan Ingram played good for 4 straight games. Now all of a sudden everyone is hating on him because he had one bad game. Dan, I hate fair weather fans so much. That's the way it is, unfortunately. There's a lot of fair weather fans, but I understand their passion as well because we've been suffering for years. You just can't really trash players. And you know what? Another great point. Adam Leon just brought it up by saying, Larry Nance is trash or whatever. Larry Nance is not trash, but he's not a starter. We had a 10-point lead going into the second quarter, and when the starters came back in, they completely lost it. Why? Because, for one, Ingram was off. Lonzo he's a capable scorer at times, but he still needs his weapons out on the floor to be 100% effective. That's why I've been clamoring for Kuzma at the 4, because Larry's not even a starter. He only had, 4 points tonight? That's not really going to help us out, and a couple of rebounds. And when his defense isn't even that great, then he's just not effective. So, if I'm the Lakers, I put him at center as a backup to go at Randall and put Randall back at his natural position, which is a 4, and our bench would still be good with Clarkson and Randall and Nance. I mean, the only difference is you're subbing out Kuzma, who would be much more effective as a starting unit, and it would give Lonzo and Brandon Ingram another weapon to work with. Now they have 3 nice little weapons, with the wild cards being Brook Lopez and KCP. So, bad coaching, and he's been sticking with it. That's my problem, is that I prefer when coaches try different things. If something's not working, you got to try something out. Obviously, the offense, efficiency goes down when Larry Nance starts, so you can't do that. You got to have a balanced team, and right now our bench is way better than the starters. Why? Because Nance is starting. Oh, well. Why do the Lakers stands love to make excuses for trash players? I'm not sure what you mean by trash players. Blake Griffin or Green to the Lakers? No, I don't want Blake Griffin. He's injury prone. Dan, even though we lost in a heartbreaking way, I still go with the Lakers upsetting them. Let me go up. Sorry. I missed your comment. My bad, bro. I scrolled up too fast. All right. Heartbreaking way, I still have to go with the Lakers upsetting them. Cavs have won, I believe, 10 straight times in Cleveland. Lakers can beat any team, Laker fans. Just be confident. Yeah, we can win. I mean, it's the NBA. Any team can win on any given night, but they're really going to have to cut down on turnovers. I feel like it'd be much better if Kuzma started. I mean, what else does a kid have to do to start? Tonight he played good defense, solid enough defense. He hit some major big-time shots when we're struggling, and he just shows he's fearless. He's not afraid of the moment. Even in overtime, he almost hit a 3 that rattled out, and I thought it was a good shot because he was in rhythm. So it is what it is, man. But we'll see, man. Moving forward, I expect better things from this team. You're not sure what I mean equals how about Nance and Randall? What about them? Nance and Randall are good role players, but I wouldn't start either, honestly. Randall, at times, with major minutes, I noticed he gets sloppy, and he tends to turn the ball over. That's why I love him off the bench and just being a spark plug for us. As far as Nance, he doesn't have enough offense, and he's not aggressive enough offensively where the defense just sag off and nothing can, nothing can happen for us when everything's clogged in the middle with Nance in there. So that's all I got to say. Hey, what's up, Combat Sports Star? How you doing, brother? Lonzo looked very good tonight. Yes, he did. He's been looking a lot better as of lately. He's coming along, man. I'm telling you. He definitely is very athletic, explosive, and an underrated good defender. What I mean by underrated is he gets steals, block shots. I mean, he gets in there when you least expect it. So at times, yeah, he needs to work on his on-ball defense still. I'm not saying he's a great defender, but he's a decent defender. You know, he's holding his own in the NBA. Lonzo was hurt by the end of the third. He should have been sat for the remainder of the game. Yeah, we'll hear more about that. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. But yeah, if somebody's hurt, definitely got to sit him. Dan Clarkson is more of a threat than KCP. Exactly. That's why I've been saying, like, I thought Clarkson should have definitely finished out this game. But again, favorites. Lonzo's favorite quarter seems to be the third. Yeah, I've noticed that. He's been going off a little bit. He's been having stretches in the third quarter where he's going off. So, again, that has a lot to do with conditioning. I feel like if he was better conditioned, he would be going off for more parts of the game instead of just a particular quarter. But that's going to come, man. I'm not worried about Lonzo at this point. He's doing a lot of great stuff for us. Mike Breen touched on a great point. Everybody wants to criticize his scoring, but he's, leading the team in rebounding, and he's a pretty decent defender. So, he's top 7 in assists. So instead of trashing him for his downside, why not praise him for all the good stuff he's done? Is Lonzo okay? Did he get hurt? Hopefully not. I haven't really looked at the report yet, but I hope he's okay. I'll be checking in on Twitter right after this stream. Yeah, Kuzma desperately needs to start. It's so blatant. I'm kind of shocked that Magic hasn't, stepped in and said, you know what, Luke, you got to start Kuzma. But he did say he was going to stay out of the crosshairs of Luke Walton. Maybe he's trying to see if Luke Walton is capable of making that adjustment or how long it'll take him to make a set adjustment, right? That's so obvious. But we'll see, man. At this stage, I'm not really encouraged by Luke. I'm not looking for replacements because I know it's not realistic. I know they're going to give him at least to the end of the season to prove himself. And but what I am looking for is some sort of move, man. Lineup changes, and he hasn't done them yet, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Luke anymore. Fire Luke and get who? Exactly. At this stage, I don't know. You can't do that in the middle of the season, especially when we're going into free agency. Now, if a free agent wants a certain coach as leverage, then you definitely got to make that happen. Especially if he's worth it. If it's DeMarcus Cousins or somebody like that. But get the man who's calling the game, Mark Jackson. I'm a big Mark Jackson fan. But we'll see. I mean, I don't think anything's going to happen. I'd be shocked if Luke was fired midway through the season. We should have won that game. Julius needs to stop bringing the ball down the court and making mistakes. Luke Walton took him out for that. You see Lonzo Ball show some emotion at Kuzma for missing his pass. That was nice. Yeah, I think Lonzo drew the defense. He drew the double team, and he expected Kuzma to be in the corner, but Kuzma cut in, and that's where they miscommunicated. But yeah, that was nice. It is nice to see Lonzo trying to run the team from the point guard position. Luke has been pretty bad, Holy Chance, all season long. Even fans of other teams have let me know about it. My friend is a Knicks fan, and he told me he's not a fan of Luke either. So, I mean, I'm not the only one who sees it. Laker fans aren't the only one who sees it. Even other teams' fans also see how that Luke's not making the proper rotation adjustments. I can't believe Jim and Mitch Kupchak gave Luke 5-year deal. Dan, we don't need to fire Luke yet. So far, it's just the way players execute the plays. No, it's not just the way players execute the plays. Let's not sugarcoat it for Luke Walton. He has been inconsistent. You just never know what kind of rotation. There's games when he brings in Tyler Ennis out of the blue. I mean, Tyler hasn't played good for us all season. At this stage, he should be cut from the team. But he's just very inconsistent with his rotations. You never know what he's going to do. And you just never know what he's going to finish like. And one thing is for sure, he sucks at mismatches. He lets us get exposed time and time again. You know, no pun intended, but we keep getting exposed at the center position by putting smaller people on the centers that are killing us. And that's just not going to fly. Any coach with the right basketball IQ needs to make those adjustments and throw bodies at bodies, right? You counter height with height. You don't counter height with, small ball. You got to be smart as a head coach, and it is what it is, man. No one respects Luke, not the refs or the players. We'll see what happens. They are improving. You're learning. I'm happy about the future. Dan, aren't you? I'm definitely happy about the future. I'm ecstatic. Look, Kuzma continues to prove himself even off the bench. He has proven that no matter what his role, he buys in 100% of the time, and he's just so skilled and he's clutch. I mean, he's hit some clutch shots for us this season, right? That's number one. Number two, you got to be encouraged by the fact that Lonzo Ball's starting to get more comfortable offensively. I mean, he had 3 3-pointers tonight. He had a couple of nice left-handed finishes at the rim that I was really impressed by, and he's just orchestrating the team really well. That's super encouraging. Brandon Ingram has been great up until today, but that has been encouraging as well. Let's not forget about that. That's our 3 building blocks right there. Clarkson has been sensational off the bench. I thought he should have finished fourth quarter and overtime, but he's been great. Randall has been great for the most part this season as well. So there's a lot of encouragement. The only discouraging part is that certain players haven't gotten no play time. This would have been a perfect game to throw out Zubats out there, maybe Thomas Bryant. So there's discouraging parts as well. But again, that can be fixed, right? That can be fixed. The coaching staff can make the proper adjustments. We still have time. Turnovers have been discouraging, and free throws. Those are the areas we really need to work on. If we are leaving free throws at the line, we're losing games. Think about this, okay? If Julius Randle makes one of those 2 free throws that he missed at the line earlier in the game, we win this game. It doesn't go to overtime. That Kuzma 3 then ends up being the game winner because Kristaps Porzingis missed the very next shot. So little things like that are really hindering our ability to win games, as well as consistency from the young players. Again, if Ingram even chips in anything over 5 to 6 points, we win the game. But he was a no-show tonight. All he had was 3 buckets, and he just disappeared. So little things like that, man, are going to lose us games like this, especially on the road. I'm just impressed the fact that we stayed in there without Brandon Ingram and, with the refs, being so lopsided as they were tonight. So that's encouraging in itself, but we'll see. This guy said he sees Rondo and Lonzo. No, Rondo is not as explosive as Lonzo is. Lonzo's a lot more explosive. Defensively, yeah, you can make the comparison, I guess. But offensively, I think he has a way higher ceiling, honestly. And they already hired a shooting coach. We're going to see in the next couple of months if that pays off, right? All he needs to do is just tweak his shot a little bit and arc it a little bit more. I mean, if he's blocking his own view, like he's shooting it like this from the left side of his head, you would think his arm would block his view and he would lose sight of the rim at times. That could affect his shot. Little things like that impact his shot. I know because I'm a shooter myself, and I believe I had one of the pure forms out there before I broke my hand. So I study jump shots, and I can tell you right now, he has a very similar jump shot to Kevin Martin, who was a career, 17 point per game scorer, or 18 or around there. But it's nothing that can't be fixed, and he's shown that he has the ability to keep shooting even when he's off. Just shows me that he has the want to improve, right? He doesn't shy away from the moment. Brandon shied away from the moment tonight just because his shot wasn't falling. Again, you got to stay aggressive, and you got to keep improving. Did you know Kobe only scored 1 point in MSG's debut? Lonzo scored 17. I think we are okay with Ball. Yeah, man, it's not even about, how many points they score. It's just about the way he's running the team is very impressive. He is our leading rebounder. Isn't that crazy? Oh, my God, Adam. Stop it, bro. Stop. Sean Marion had a horrible J, but it went in, damn it. Well, you know what? Excuse my language. You know what? It went in when he was wide open, but he was more of a spot-up shooter. I think Lonzo could actually come off the dribble and pull it. Dan, you been to a Laker game? Oh, yeah, definitely, man. So it's an amazing experience. I love going to Staples Center and catching my favorite team in the world, man. Dan, even if we hire a new coach, it'll take time for players to get control of the playbook. Exactly. That's why I'm not looking forward to it this season. As far as next season, then it'll be interesting, right? Dan, you shoot with 2 hands? No. 1 hand, brother. This hand is just a support hand. Everybody knows that fundamentally. This hand, Just helps you bring the ball up. This is the shooting hand right here. I shoot with 1 foot like Dirk. Like Dirk Nowitzki. Should we make a trade for PG before the deadline? Would it help our playoff chances? It would definitely help our playoff chances. That's exactly the kind of player we need. I mean, if we had a guy like PG tonight, guaranteed we win. These are games that we need a closer to step up, and unfortunately, Brandon Ingram has been that for us. But tonight it just wasn't his day. I'm just not sure what I'm willing to give up for somebody like PG, at this stage, and what is the trade market value for him now. If it's something minimal, definitely go out and get him now. Lock him up, and it'll even help our case in free agency to sign a second All-Star. But if they want too much, like if they're asking for Randall and Clarkson and a pick, no way. No way. There you go, Jarrell. Jarrell has the right idea. No, that's a horrible comparison. Come on, given quality. Bro, you said Lonzo is like Kendall Marshall. You lost me. Now your basketball opinion, I'm not sure if I could take serious. Are you trolling or are you serious? There's no way. Kendall Marshall was not half as explosive as Brandon Ingram. As Lonzo Ball. No way. And defensively, Lonzo destroys Kendall Marshall. Kendall Marshall was a poor man's Ricky Rubio. No way. That's just disrespectful. Dan, you should do a halftime report kind of it. Yeah, man. Keep asking for it, and you're going to get it. Peace out, bro. Good hearing from you. Keep it up. Good work. Keep up the good work. Oh, thanks, bro. Appreciate it, Combat. Thank you, man. You too, man. I see you growing. I see you. I trade Luke and Dane for Boogie in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. KCP, Randall, and a second-round pick for PG. That's an interesting trade. Dan, have you heard about the net neutrality? No, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. Kevin Martin said he could help Lonzo. And you know what? That's the first person I'd be calling. Because Kevin Martin was as pure of a shooter as there was in the NBA. Yeah, there's no way that they should not be calling Kevin Martin. They should definitely be hitting him up. I mean, he's probably the key. Look at the stat line Marshall had when he was point guard for the Lakers. It's not about the stat line, dude. The stat line he had was he was a product of the system, which was Mike D'Antoni. Everybody knows average point guards even look like stars. Just ask Jeremy Lin, under Mike D'Antoni system. But Lonzo is a system within himself. He doesn't need a system to flourish. All he needs is good shooters, and he's going to get you the ball. If you can score the ball, it is a dream come true to play with Lonzo. Trust me. 7 assists per game is only the start. When he gets Paul George, if he gets Paul George, and or DeMarcus Cousins, his assist count is going to go up over 10 for sure. And as far as the scoring, it's going to come easier as well. Production is all that matters on the court. Not really. Not really, because look, Dwight Howard had a monster game versus us, yet his game really didn't impact the floor that much. So production only tells half of the story. I mean, somebody could just be stat padding and not really impacting the ball game. Come on, man. Lakers and Cavs, what you got on that game? Man, I'll take the Lakers any day. I'm never going to, say the Cavs are going to win, but it is going to be a really hard game. The Cavs have been hot lately, and they're getting players back from injury soon, so we'll see what happens, but hopefully we get the W, man, always. Dan, the problem with the Lakers right now is Lopez. What do you think? He's definitely one of the problems. Our problem is we can't shoot for lick, man. We struggle scoring from the perimeter, and we settle too much. That's the problem. And when you settle, good things don't happen. We need to attack the rack. We're one of the top teams at scoring inside, right? So that's where our bread and butter is. And, once the defense collapses, if you get wide open 3 balls, then okay, take them. But if you're like forcing the issue and just jacking up threes, it's going to be hard to win. So that's partially the issue. Turnovers, free throws, stuff like that. We have plenty of issues, but we have gotten better on defense. We're getting better in transition, slowly but surely, and our players are developing. I mean, Kuzma continues to impress. Clarkson continues to impress me. Lonzo continues to impress. So we're getting better, man. Just takes time. Yeah, we definitely need balance. All right, guys. Well, that's going to cut it for me, man. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe. And hopefully we get a win come Thursday night versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to need Brandon Ingram to show up, unlike tonight. So hopefully they get their rest and they're ready to go. I'll catch you guys later, man. Peace out, Laker Nation.